Now that government formation is complete and the NDA led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has formed government for the third time, the spotlight is on India's economy and stock markets going ahead. We are going to discuss the outlook for India's stock markets in the medium to long term. How will the pace of policy implementation impact investor sentiment and stock markets and the sectors that investors must be bullish on going forward? Now, to talk about all this and more, I'm joined by Anant Ladha. He is the founder of Invest Aaj for Kal, and Ruchir Gupta, stock market expert and veteran. Thank you both for joining us. To begin with, Anant, how do you see India's stock markets performing now that government formation is complete and we have the full year budget ahead of us?
Hi, firstly, thank you so much for having me on the show. So right now we have to see two important points. Firstly, we are seeing continuity in ministries, which is taken positively from the market perspective and from long-term perspective. Secondly, market has responded well to this continuation of the ministries, and we are seeing that market are trading at all-time high. So I feel that we are placed quite beautifully in terms of political stability for next 5 years, which is a thumbs up for economy. Now all eyes are on budget. Are we going to see some strict actions in this budget? Usually we see that whenever a new government is formed, first year usually has some stricter decisions which is being made. Will we see it this time also? That is a big question.
Right, Ruchir, revenue potential for companies also hinges on government policies. Your thoughts on how the pace of policy implementation will impact India's stock markets then going forward?
So policy implementation, I am seeing that the execution is more important than just making a policy, and that is happening. We are seeing it in all the sectors. And if we see market in terms of P ratio, it is placed on 22, which is a very good P ratio. And we can see a lot of growth from here. And market has performed well after the exit polls also. It has seen a decline, but it has again stabilized on a certain level.
Right. Those are really your thoughts. But, Anand, post-election outcome really, then the sectors that you're currently tracking and those that you will track just ahead of the full budget.
So I feel there are two kind of sectors which we have to focus on right now from market's perspective. Firstly are the sectors which have underperformed in last few years. For example, private banks have not delivered good returns in last few years. IT has underperformed. Even FMCG has not performed that well. So I feel eventually these sectors will also catch up and start to perform well. So this can be one theme which can be in focus for next few years. Secondly, we can focus on the segments or sectors which we have seen government focus. For example, we are seeing infra. We can focus on infra. We can focus on PSUs. I still feel that there is a lot of space present in PSU segment, and selectively we can have some spots over there. And finally, anything and everything related to development and ground economy can work well. This time budget can see some good surprise from consumption side, because this time we have a coalition government, and usually we have seen in every coalition government, some populist steps are taken in the budget. So these are the main themes which investors can focus on looking from next 1 to 3 years in perspective.
All right, Ruchir, do you agree on budget expectations and the sectors that you would watch out for?
I would totally agree with Anant, and I would also like to add, few people are a bit cautious about this, that they think that the budget can become a welfare budget instead of a growth budget, because when the government is formed based on coalition, what happens is that they need to, like, if Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu is supporting the government, and there could be reasons that those states are getting bigger awards and rewards in terms of budgets, and then what will happen is that normal expectation and normal continuity of the reforms which were happening could hamper. That is the expectation that can happen. But in terms of seats, if we see, BJP has got 240 seats. So 240 is not a very small number. It is a very stable number which can make government to continue on its own. It can arrange for other seats as well. So we think that there could be a situation where the government could be on back foot when these people who are supporting the government could demand some extra benefits. But then government could continue very easily, because we have seen in 2009 Congress had something around 240 seats and it was able to continue for full 5 years. So that could be a good thing. But what I have seen in this election and all the results and exit polls is that exit polls completely failed to they failed completely to predict the results. And that is what happened is that in relation to that is the lot of news rolled out that the government, even then the government has come for the third time. It is a very good thing, very good sign of a stable economy. But then the news and everything did not celebrated it the way it should have been. So what happened with that is that I would a bit blame a lot of news which kind of caused market to become volatile. So see, what happens is that market is a long term game. But when we start seeing it in terms of short term, we tend to see such kind of volatile markets when everybody is trying to encash the market for 2 or 3 days. The election result will come and we will make a lot of money. Then that correction that we saw, such kind of things happen, and then we start blaming that this happened and that happened. We should aim for a bigger market, bigger, longer term view, and where we can make a lot of wealth if we aim for longer term.
All right. Well, Anand, many believe that stocks or sectors that are interest rate sensitive in particular, such as banking, financial, auto and real estate, will outperform going forward. Your thoughts?
See, these are hardcore economy related stocks and segments, and for any developing economy, we have seen that BFSI usually perform well. So same can be expected for India as well. I feel where market is placed right now, we can see some volatility in coming few weeks. But if you talk about probably 3 quarters or 4 quarters, I feel we are well right on track for a very stable and a healthy market, especially for long-term SIP investors. So this is something which we have to take care of. And BFSI, automobile, and even the real estate segment, I personally feel will do well in next few years as well.
Right. Ruchir, will global challenges or geopolitical uncertainty then impact India's stock market momentum going forward? Your thoughts?
It could be volatile in short terms, but I feel that when all the economies are facing decline, the GDP is going down, and at that point of time, if India is growing at a rate of 8%, then that is a big thing, and which is like, if they are unstable, certainly their investors are going to come to India and invest here. So we are the only option left for them for investing, and we are a big economy where a lot of investment can happen.
Right. So India's economy really outperforming the rest of the world. Anand, lastly, your message to investors for the medium to long term then?
See, there is one final risk which is pending for this year, which is a known risk, which is US elections. And historically, we have seen that US markets have underperformed for 3 to 6 months prior to their election. So this is something which you can keep in mind, that probably in the next 3-4 months, you can see some volatility. You should be ready for that. If you are a long-term mutual fund investor, SIP investor, you should use this opportunity to top up your funds for a bigger picture, for a bigger goal. If you are a swing trader, you might get opportunity on both sides, especially during the US election time. So you can keep this in mind, and all the very best for the coming future.
All right. Thank you so much, both of you, for sharing your thoughts. That's really from the market momentum and where experts really see India's economy and stock markets going forward.